Здравствуйте, меня зовут Вера Алексеевна Полякова-Норвуд, и добро пожаловать на урок русского языка. My name is Vera Polякova-Norwood, and welcome to our Russian class. Well, we have already mastered the Russian alphabet. You know all the 33 letters in the Cyrillic alphabet. And today we are going to start to speak the language. I hope that you will really enjoy it. So let's talk a little bit about the materials that we need to be able to proceed in the study of the Russian language. We will be learning from the textbook called Russian for Everybody. And this is a textbook that is co-authored by a group of Russian language scholars. They all live in Moscow and work at the Pushkin Institute of the Russian Language, which is the best institute or the best educational establishment for learning the Russian language. And this textbook was adapted for English-speaking students of Russian by Professor Robert Baker. So this is a very good textbook for us to learn, and I hope that very quickly you will come to like this textbook. The textbook comes with two additional workbooks. One is called Let's Talk and Read. And we will use this book, Let's Talk and Read, for our conversation classes. This book will supply us with numerous exercises for discussion. Besides Let's Talk and Read book, we will also be using Workbook. Workbook is a little booklet that contains a lot of exercises that you will be doing at home. This is that little booklet that contains many of your homework exercises. So always in class have with you your textbook, Russian for Everybody, and its two accompanying workbooks, Workbook and Let's Talk and Read book. And if you do that, you will be in a good shape for every class. Ну, хорошо. Now let's get down to business. Let's start speaking the Russian language. When we were learning the alphabet with you, we acquired a rather nice vocabulary. You remember that the Russian people call their country Россия, and the capital of Россия is Moskva. The best way to move around in a Russian city is by metro. And when in a hurry, we catch a taxi. But we can always go by автобус. If you need to go from country to country, what is the quickest way to get there? By самолет. You know that every day people read газета, journal. You know, the Russian people like to eat фрукты and also мороженое. And if you are a tourist in Russia, you will probably be interested in сувениры. Kids go to школа, and in the evening, people like to go to theater to see a nice ballet. Ну, хорошо. Also, let's take a look at a few pictures, and you will tell me what it is. Итак, что это? Это телефон. Это телефон. Хорошо? Что это? Это телевизор. Это телевизор. Что это? Это компьютер. Это компьютер. Что это? Это кофе. Это кофе. А что это? Это чай. Это чай. Что это? Это шоколад. Это шоколад. Так. Что это? Что это? Это самолет. Самолет. Хорошо. Very good. Очень хорошо. I was asking you the что это question. But let's take a look at it. I want you to see it. Что это? Что is the Russian word for what? What? What is this? Что это? Notice how nice, short, and compact the Russian question is. Just two words. Что это? What is this? And when you answer the question, you start with это, the Russian way of saying this is. Notice that it covers two English words. This is, это. And right here you add the name of the object. Что это? Это. Что это? Это вода. Это вода. Так. Что это? Это телефон. Это телефон. Что это? Это газета. Это газета. Что это? Это журнал. Это журнал. Что это? Это, and then you name the object. Ну, хорошо, хорошо. So when we ask about objects, we ask что это. But when we ask about people, we use a different question. The question for people is кто это? Кто это? And when you are answering the question, again you begin with это. This little word кто means who. Now you need to remember that the question кто это applies not only to people but to animals as well. If you are asking about a living being in general, a living, breathing being, you ask this question. Кто это? What is this? Кто это? And when you are answering, you start with это. This is, and then you use the word that identifies the person or the animal. So let's practice a little bit. Let's look at these pictures. Итак, кто это? Это кот. Это кот. Кто это? Это мама. Это мама. Кто это? Это шофер. Это шофер. Ну, хорошо, хорошо. And now pick up your pens or pencils. And let's practice with что это and кто это in their cursive forms. Let's begin with what is this? Что это? Что это? Let's say это телефон. This is a telephone. Это телефон. Now let's try the who is this question. Кто это? Let us say this is a mother. Это мама. Это мама. So we are writing sentences today. Let's read together. Everybody after me. Что это? Это телефон. Кто это? Это мама. Ну, хорошо, хорошо. Very good. Now let's continue. When we were learning the Russian alphabet with you, we learned the word dom. Dom. Do you remember what a dom is? It's the Russian word for a house. Dom. But the Russian word dom also means a home. So there's no distinction in the Russian language between a home and a house. A house is your home. Dom. Dom. And the word dom can refer to an individual house where just one family lives, but it can also refer to a huge apartment complex where thousands of different families live. So the word dom has a very wide meaning. It's a home. If you live in a huge apartment complex, that is still your home. Just remember about the Russian word dom, that it comprises the meaning of the English words building, house, and home. It's a person's home, wherever it happens to be. So there are different kinds of dwellings where people live. So let's go over some of these words. If you live in an apartment, then you call it kvartira. Kvartira. Think of the English word quarters. It has a similar root. Kvartira. What may be a little bit difficult is going from the K sound to the V sound. Kvartira. One more time. Kvartira. Хорошо. Kvartira. Apartments in large apartment complexes are numbered. So you need to know the номер of your apartment. Номер. Номер is the Russian word for number. That's right. Номер. And this word is easily recognizable, isn't it? Номер. So if you live in apartment number 1, you call it квартира номер 1. Один is the word for 1. Один. Квартира номер 1. I need you to notice this N that stands for номер. That's the number sign that the Russian people use. Instead of always writing the word номер, you just put this capital N in, and everybody knows that it stands for номер. Квартира номер 1. Now say the whole thing. Квартира номер 1. Apartment number 1. Квартира номер 1. Квартира номер 1. If you live in apartment number 2, you call it квартира номер 2. Квартира номер 2. Is everybody practicing with me? One more time. Квартира номер 2. Хорошо. Хорошо. And it really is lovely if right outside your apartment complex there's a big park. Park. And what does park mean? A park where you can go for a nice walk, for a nice stroll. Park. Park. Хорошо. One more time. Pick up your pens and pencils and let's practice. Okay. Well, everybody remembers the word dom. And we have just learned the word park. A park. Park. If you live in a large apartment complex, then you live in a kvartira, an apartment. Kvartira. Kvartira. And you should always remember the номер of your kvartira. So let's practice with квартира, номер 1. Apartment number 1. Квартира, номер, that's our number sign, 1. Or квартира, квартира, номер 2. Apartment number 2. Квартира номер 2. Хорошо. The Russian people have a worldwide reputation as avid readers. They read books, newspapers, magazines, anything they can find. They love to read. They read more than any other nation in the world. So let's look at some of the things that we read with you daily. We already know some of these words. Что это? Это журнал. Это журнал. And I hope that everybody remembers this. Что это? Это газета. Это газета. Хорошо, but besides newspapers and magazines, there are other things to read. So let's take a look at this. Книга. Книга. This is the word for book. Книга. Это книга. Это книга. Say that one more time. Книга. Хорошо. Письмо. If you receive a letter, you should read your letter. Письмо. 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 Это письмо. Это письмо. And we are studying the Russian language from a textbook. Учебник. Учебник. Not just any kind of book, but a textbook that you use for study of a certain subject. Учебник. Учебник. Хорошо. Now let's practice with a few objects. I want you to identify these things for me. Что это? Это письмо. Это письмо. Что это? Это книга. Это книга. Что это? Это газета. Это газета. Что это? Это журнал. Это журнал. Хорошо. Now we know how to say these words, but how do we go about writing them in cursive? Let's look at this. We shall begin with книга. 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 Besides книга, we can read a письмо. 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 Then there's always a журнал. 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 Газета. 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 And when it comes to studying we need a учебник. Учебник. Книга, письмо, журнал, газета, учебник. Книга, письмо. If I need to use those two words within one phrase and say a book and a letter, I simply connect them with this. This is a Russian conjunction which corresponds to the English and. Книга и письмо. A book and a letter. Письмо и книга. A letter and a book. Again, this is a conjunction that connects those two things. And. И. Хорошо. And we are studying the Russian language from учебник, textbook, учебник, Russian for everybody. Русский язык для всех. Русский язык для всех. And from the title of our textbook, we learn the phrase that means the Russian language. Русский язык. Say it after me. Русский язык. Русский язык. And today we started learning lesson number 1. Урок номер 1. Урок номер 1. That's the first unit in our textbook. That's what we are working on. Урок, lesson. Урок номер 1. Everybody after me. Урок номер 1. And now the whole thing. Урок номер 1. Урок номер 1. And of course, when you are involved in the study of something, you have to do exercise over exercise over exercise. Упражнение. Упражнение. Exercise. Упражнение. And yes, we will be doing a lot of oral упражнения and certainly a lot of written упражнение. So you need to learn this word right away. Everybody after me. Упражнение. 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 Ну, хорошо. And now I need to introduce the characters from the textbook to you. The textbook that we are using, Russian for Everybody, centers around the life of a Russian family. So gradually we will learn a lot how a Russian family lives, what the parents do, what the kids do. So the father of the family that the textbook is written about is called Ivan Ivanovich. Ivan Ivanovich. Ivan is a very popular Russian first name. Ivanovich. This is not his last name. This is something very interesting. This is what only the Russian people have. The second part of his name is a patronymic. First name, Ivan Ivanovich, a patronymic. Ivan Ivanovich. Try it again. Ivan Ivanovich. The mother of the family is Anna Petrovna. Anna is a very popular Russian first name. Anna. Petrovna is not her last name, it's her patronymic. Anna Petrovna. And adult people in Russia are always called and always referred to by their first names and patronymics. Last names are not as widely used as they are in the West. Russia has its own very unique system of naming and addressing people. So Ivan Ivanovich, Anna Petrovna, and they have 2 kids. Their daughter's name is Nina. 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 And their son's name is Maxim. Maxim. Notice that we are not using patronymics for kids. When Nina and Maxim grow up, when they are adults, then they will be called and referred to by other people by their first names and patronymics. But kids just go by their first names. Well, this brings us to a very interesting topic, and that's the use of patronymics. The Russian naming system gives each person 3 names: first name, a patronymic, and the last name. Well, right now, we are not going to use the last name for Ivan Ivanovich and his family. We'll just use their first names and patronymics. But every Russian person has 3 names: first name, last name, and in between the first name and the last name, there's a patronymic. A patronymic is derived from your father's first name. So you take your father's first name and put a little suffix on it. This suffix means either son of so-and-so or daughter of so-and-so. So Ivan Ivanovich is son of Ivan. Ivan, son of Ivan. Ivan Ivanovich. And we always refer to him as Ivan Ivanovich. Anna Petrovna is daughter of Pyotr. Petrovna, daughter of Pyotr. Anna, daughter of Pyotr. Anna Petrovna. Anna Petrovna. And I am Vera Alexeyevna, daughter of Alexei. That's my father's first name, Vera Alexeyevna. And teachers are always addressed by their students, by their first names and patronymics. Vera Alexeyevna. Think of me as Vera Alexeyevna, your Russian teacher. No? Хорошо. Хорошо. So this is a very interesting topic for discussion, and I can talk about this forever and ever, but we are running out of time. So if you are interested in this, please do some independent research on this. After this class, I need you to do additional exercises for video lesson number 7. Additional exercises, and practice with cursive for all the words that we learned during today's class. And now your homework. Your homework. I want you to take your textbooks, find lesson 1, page 78, and work on exercise 3 and exercise 4. Exercise 3 and exercise 4. And do them in writing. Ну, хорошо. Very good. Хорошо. Большое спасибо и до свидания.